I would say that by now we should be already familiar with the fact that there are two types of physical risk data. First, we need to understand the distribution of hazards, where they are located, which regions are prone to certain hazards, which hazards are dominating where, what's the top 3 hazards per each region, and that's just the static information. The forward-looking perspective is how these hazards are likely to be evolving, magnifying, increasing frequency and severity across different scenarios, right? That's the one level of data. And the ECB here explains a bit more on what we can expect, what should we be looking for. The second type of data is really connected to the exposures. We need accompanying data on the same level of granularity that we can match to the hazard type of information that we have collected. And we therefore need to know where are the assets, the most important assets on our portfolios distributed, mainly talking about the counterparties operations. This picture is not unlike the one that we already looked at for transition risk. So similar high-level methodological approach can be applied also to physical risk. Here we start with the same approach. We first create an anchor score where we assess the country risk, country physical risk, high, medium, low scale, such as the ECB example earlier on. And we also look at the score that we assigned to industry, and we combine them into physical risk anchor score. That is before looking and trying to understand the specifics of the counterparty, just purely looking at the country and industry. Both of them are anchoring us. If I'm exposed, if I'm living in a highly exposed country to hurricanes, like in Caribbean, I'm already automatically very high on the scale when it comes to physical risk. If I'm a farmer, I'm very much exposed to, again, physical risks. So that these two define our starting point or anchor point. Then we look at the specific counterparty specifics, being the industry, the sub-industry, business model, and last but not least, similar than with transition risk, we consider how much is the counterparty taking action on adaptation and mitigation. How much can it adjust, absorb the changes, and then we have the final residual physical risk score. So the beauty of this approach proposed by NGFS is that methodology-wise or conceptually, transition and physical risk are alike each other. Even though they are quite distinct risks, the conceptual approach here is similar.